Louisiana beer reviews. New Belgium Voodoo Ranger Juice Force IPA. Hazy Imperial IPA. It was $2.48 at Walmart. They just started selling these tall stovepipe cans over there. Been selling them for years at Circle K. But anyway, they had the Voodoo Ranger, the Hazy one. I didn't buy them, but I might get them for revisits. Good date. Real good date. Now, I'm not going to try to figure all that out, but I think I know when it was made. But anyway, it's fresh. You know, it's pretty fresh. So, I was at Total Wine and More last month, and the lady at that desk was like, "You want to try this stuff?" And I saw it. She had cans like this. I said, "Okay." And she was telling me about it. She didn't seem to know too much about it. And I said, "I like it." And it's 9.5, like I said, and only 30 IBUs. So more like an Imperial Hazy Pale Ale. More like a Pale Ale than an India Pale Ale. But, you know, they want to call everything an IPA today. Imperial India Pale Ale, haha, with natural flavors. So, how about that? And we rag on like liquor, like tequila with natural flavors, or rum with natural flavors, but here a beer with natural flavors. What are the natural flavors? Some probably some kind of tangerine or orange, I'm assuming. They make it with pale malt, barley malt, so barley malt pale, naturally, oats and wheat, so it's a multi-grain. I don't know how I feel about adding all this wheat and oats. Now I know a lot of DIPAs add wheat, like Florida Man from Cigar City. You could tell that has wheat in it. Now the hops are Chinook, Galaxy, Lotus, Mosaic, Fato, Sabra, and Strata. A lot of hops for only getting 30 bitterness units. 82 out of 100 on Beer Advocate. 65 reviews. There's like 42 check-ins on Rate Beer, and they're giving it a 47 out of 100. They say, no, it is bad. You can add all the natural flavorings you want. It's bad, and in the style, it's a 1 out of 100. But they have login problems. I tried to log on. We'll see what happens today. I got to catch up with everything on that. They said they're still having problems with it. 80 out of 100 on Untappd. That's Untappd's giving it an 80, which is like a 90 on other sites, and Beer Advocate saying at least it's good, 82. Well, I would call that marginally good, a B minus, but whatever. And then this, and then Rate Beer saying no, this is a 47. It's horrendously, terribly bad. So I've never actually formally tasted it. You know what I mean? I just informally tasted it at Total Wine out of a little sample 2-ounce cup. In Louisiana, you can sample beer, wine, and liquor in a store. I used to do the beer reviews at Mathern's, and people said, you can't drink in a store. I said, no, you can't drink it in the store, but you can sample. You know, Louisiana's a lot different than other states. You see people in New Orleans walking around carrying beer cans. Is that technically legal? Technically, I don't think it is legal. In a practical sense, people do it and they don't get in trouble. Glass bottles now, that could cause you a little problem, because then that could be dangerous in some ways. But the cans or the plastic bottles, nah, you're not going to have a problem. In the French Quarter, tourist areas. Now, if you're in a ritzy neighborhood, that's different. You know, why are you walking around carrying a beer bottle? Now the police might pull over and say, hey, how you doing? You need any help with anything? And they might say, yeah, you're not supposed to have that. You know? Now if you're like some of these people that didn't do nothing wrong their whole life, and the police drive up and say, hey, how's it going? You need any help? And you take off running. You know, Same old story there. Thick medium head, white, and it's hazy. Looks like kind of maybe gold yellow with the light shining through a clear day. It's a little too windy outside though. Gold, yellow, more yellow than gold though, I guess. Okay. It smells like a pale grain based product. Now I know it has the wheat and the oats, so you know it's influencing my thinking. When I was at Total Wine, I did not know that. Although it did taste like it had the wheat in it, you know, just that first little 2-ounce sip. Yeah, it's probably got fruit flavor in it. Now, why would you do that? Probably because the initial unflavored was a little dull, and they decided to spruce it up with something, and maybe just figured most people are not going to be carefully examining those cans and whatnot, and it's probably the case. Like some of those, like I have some of those tequilas with natural flavor. You know, it's written small, you overlook it. I'm not saying natural flavor is bad for you. It isn't, and I'm not saying it's going to make the product worse. It isn't. You say, is it in a sense, cheating? And it could be, but this day and age, what difference does it make? All the stouts people tout. Look at the stouts that we tout. Dough-Bear's cake flavored. Mackinac fudge coffee flavored. Hazelnut flavored. Bourbon barrel aged chocolate and coffee flavor. I mean, so you know, it really doesn't matter to me. I mean, it doesn't matter to me. It might matter to you. Would I rather real ale, as they call it in the controversy in England? The real ale people, they want only real ale, no added things, no coloring, no flavor. I do in a way like that concept, but I'm not beholden to it or dedicated to it. Bitterness here, it's there. It's definitely a full 30. It could even seem higher than 30. I mean, I might guess that it's higher than 30, but it is technically, you know, on the scale 30. Does it taste like an India Pale Ale? No. No, it doesn't. It tastes like a pale ale. Now, if you want to get a pale ale that tastes a lot more like an India Pale Ale than this, get Dale's Pale Ale. It's much more IPA than this. If you want to get a double India Pale Ale that tastes like a pale ale, more than Dale's, get this. They're both high alcohol. Like I said, they'll have you buzz in the tower before long. High medium body, so it's kind of chewy in the mouthfeel. The body's, you know, heading toward heavy. Sweetness scale. It's a pretty dang sweet product. I would say 3.5 out of 5 sugar cubes, minimum. Bitterness, 3 out of 5 hop cones. Now, you say, well, wait a minute. You know, it just doesn't always translate over correctly or aptly from the number. But it does seem like 3 out of 5 hop cones. But the most important part really is not like worrying about if the specs line up to the real world, nice lacing, the real world experience. The most important thing is, does it taste good? Is it a good product? I mean, I like it. It's good in a way. It's sort of like what Beer Advocate is saying, good 82. But I would say marginally good 82. Like a B-. It's good, but it's not too far into the good range. I have remarked about this, that the Voodoo Ranger line, they tend to taste like one another. Well, it's like other people say, oh, look at Stone. All these Stone IPAs taste the same. They definitely have a house style, a house flavor, okay? There's no getting around that. I don't know about the same, but close. except for Stone Delicious, which just tastes bad. Tastes bad to me. Maybe that's why they call it delicious, because they knew. It was like a joke. I mean, it's fine. I mean, I bought it. Okay, I tried it. I did a review. It's not a 47 out of 100. That's a joke. It's definitely not a 1 out of 100 in the style. It's not anything exemplary. It's not something to go track down. Although with Voodoo, with New Belgium's mass production these days, you really don't have to go track it down. It's just like any kind of common thing. It's fine. Talking about their ales, I mean, there's a lot better stuff from this company. It's not as high alcohol, but it tastes better. Like Fat Tire tastes better. It's a better product. I used to think it was bland, but I didn't understand the product. But it just to me, has a nicer flavor in its own low profile approach. Their Abbey Ale, if you can find, now that one you might have to track down. It's a lot better product. Much better product. The black ale used to be a black lager, the 1554, I think, but it something changed on it. The recipe did change, but it was good before and it was good after. That's a much nicer product. Now the Voodoo line, or no, I'm sorry, Ranger IPA, that was always kind of nasty. Like there was some, like we used to say, and it wasn't me that came up with that idea, but a viewer said it has fleshy hops. I said I knew there was something unpalatable about it, and it must have been a generally, not of course completely universal, but a generally accepted idea that it wasn't too good because they dropped it. It's gone. It's been gone. They brought in the Voodoo Ranger, the new style, much better. But the original Voodoo Ranger, I mean, it's a lot better than this. The hazy. Yeah, now isn't there two Voodoo Rangers? Like there's the Voodoo Ranger regular, and then there's the Voodoo Ranger heavy, the 9.5, the DIPA. I think it has like an aqua or turquoise can. It's a personal thing, like you say. Well, I'd rather drink 6.5 today because I got things to do, and or you're like, oh yeah, I'm off for work today. It's 9.5 time, I'm getting crazy, baby. But they're both quality. A lot of companies are putting out these stovepipe can offerings, like a tropical beer hug from Goose Island, which I've never seen in Louisiana. I bought it on interstate highway. Well, it is a United States route, but interstate highway 40. On the north side of the highway, don't know the exit. In Tennessee, between Bristol and Knoxville, or they say Knoxville. I guess in that Appalachian area they say "ville" for Ville, like I'm going to Louisville, like they're choking. I say Louisville. That's why I say Louisville, Knoxville, Charlottesville, but everybody got different ways. I had to get gas, and then I went to the bathroom, and then I said, "Oof." They had Torpedo. This was last July, 2021, on the way back from Michael Komaroff's and James P. Madonna's place in New Jersey, and New York and New Jersey. And I said, well, I always look in the cooler. It's like you say it's a sickness. It's not a sickness, but it's like a fixation or something. Or I would rather call it a hobby. So I said, let me see what they got in the cooler. And I said, oof, Sierra Nevada. Big cans, pint cans for cheap. I said, oh, I must buy it. And then it was a 2-4. If you get two, you got it cheaper. So I had to buy that. And then they had the Tropical Beer Hug. It's a Tropical Beer Hug. Look at this 1987 looking label. I said, oh. I have to buy it. You know, the price was good, and so that was in this kind of realm. But what you say? What's the, is there a point to the story? Yeah. So it was a stovepipe can, and it was in this kind of realm of type of product, hazy and that and all of that. But I mean, I thought the tropical beer hug was a much better. It was the same price. It was a much better item. It might have been $268 and this was $248. Okay, 20 cents difference, but it was a much better product. I'm not saying Goose Island is better than New Belgium, but they definitely not worse. But in that case, it was better. And I see there's all kind of tropical beer hug or beer hug variants now, which none of which we can get. It's a strange situation. Goose Island has largely disappeared from Louisiana. Honker's Ale, India Pale Ale, you can find it. Not easily, really. I can name so many. They're gone. You know, of course the Goose Island, what they call that, you know, the real expensive one, the barrel age, that they come out with every kind of variation, Coca-Cola. As if I was going to pay $20.99 for a Coca-Cola flavored Imperial Stout. The Bourbon County Stout, Bourbon County brand Stout. Well, yeah, that's common here. And it just sets on the shelf, be on the shelf for years. I can remember in 2012, it would be gone in 3 hours. If you didn't make the appointment, like you had to make an appointment with the store, you know, I want this. Here's my name and number. Call me. You know, you wasn't going to get it if you didn't do that. And then when the hoopla died out, they were knee deep in the hoopla. But then when that died out, now it's just there, you know, and it's always great. I'm talking about the standard. It's always an 98 or higher, but people just say, I could find other things to do with $10.99 to $14.99 per bottle, you know. So, be that as it may, I like this product to an extent. Would I recommend it? I mean, I would recommend it. I would recommend Mickey's also. You know, you say, oh, you really have gone mad. You know, I haven't gone crazy. I would recommend Mickey's. Like, you know, Mickey's Fine Malt Liquor. But you can get a 40-ounce bottle for $2.29. You know, let's think about that. $2.29, you can get a 40-ounce bottle, 5.6. You can get this stovepipe for $2.48. And, you know, I think the Mickey's tastes better, has a better body, better just overall feel to it. You say, it's an adjunct to use corn syrup. Oh, no. Yeah, okay, this is an adjunct too. And so, I look at those kind of things, like the value and everything. I know that's a lager. This is an ale. I'm kind of aware of that. But anyway, I don't want you to think I'm attacking this product. I'm not attacking it. I'm enjoying it. I'm going to give it a... yeah, I'm going to stick with that. I'm going to say 82, just like Beer Advocate. But I'm saying A-. They're saying A, but... It's that kind of thing. It's good, comma, but. And then you can fill in the rest of the sentence. So it's good, but. And I don't love good, but. You know what I mean? B-U-T. I like good, end of sentence. It's good. Mickey's is good. There's no add-on. Like, it's good. Well, but if you look at it in a certain context, it's good. No, it's always good. So, like, when I drink that, it's always good. You say, well, it's lager. Why are you cross-styling? Okay, well, let's bring up an ale real quick. Common ale that's good with no buts, with no considerations. Well, I could say Keystone Ice. That was an ale, always listed as ale, and never listed as lager. Well, that was another example. It was always good, and there was no but to it. There was no, well, you know, but it is a, no, it was just good. Like, it was like literally objectively good. And then they got rid of it, but, you know, that's how they operate. Old Tankard Ale. Quasi mass produced, really not mass produced, more like a micro produced thing, because it's coming from Paps, who needs me helping him. But I mean, it was always good. It was so much better than this. It's laughable. Even the Pabst American Pale Ale APA, and that wasn't great. It was better than this. You know, it was just, you know, with the red, white, and blue that they did nothing to promote. It was here today, gone tomorrow. Next time you check, all the cans was out of date. But the Old Tankard was just would kill this. Oh, okay. Here's some examples. Where's my mind? I'm buzzing a tower, you know. But no, but I'm not. But Foster's premium ale. I can get that for $1.99 on sale some places. Would destroy this product. Destroy this. Now I'm definitive in that. A much better product. I'm sorry, that's going to offend a lot of people. Ballantine, which I've only ever found in my life in the Bronx, New York City, in bottles and cans. It's a joke. I mean, there's no way this is as good as Ballantine, and no one knows what the IBU, I mean, well, that for sure, but no one knows what the ABV is on Ballantines. Now, I've had people tell me, oh, it's 6.78. I said, well, how do you know that? Well, I looked on Untapped. Oh, what's their source? We don't know. Yeah, Ballantines. It's a joke. It's much better than this. It's much. You say, well, it's not as high alcohol. Won't get you lit. If that's your addiction, then you can, you know, approach that like an affliction, because what would stop you from going to the store and buying like a really cheap vodka like Dobra? Okay, I mean, you have some kind of a problem, so you say, well, I'll just buy Ballantines, which is much lower than this, obviously. And you could spice it up, you know, spruce it up with Dobra vodka. Or one of those, or Crystal Palace, if you ever see Crystal Palace vodka. Well, I've never seen it. So, I mean, there's ways to facilitate that problem, and I don't recommend doing that. Anyway, yeah, it's fine. I mean, it's a fruit flavor. I don't know what the natural flavor is. I would say it's, tangerine, maybe satsuma. You say satsuma? Well, yeah, because, you know, they're going to dump the stuff. They're going to dump it. They're going to say, it's turned, but you could dry it out, dehydrate it, pulverize it in a bag and add it. It'll give it a little extra something. And then it gets it to an 82. So, yeah, fine. All right, so Les Bon Ton Relais, but there's a lot of other better options, but I'm still not hating on it, because an 82 is a good, marginally good score, and good does not mean bad, right? Good does not mean bad. Now, when you're paying when you consider the price, well, okay. But that's how that goes. But anyway, so Les Bon Ton Relais. Anyhow, if I went to Colorado or North Carolina, I would tour the New Belgium Brewery. I really would, and I would enjoy it. It would be a great time. Thank you for watching this video. Production.